Welcome everyone to episode 11 of the Brewhouse podcast, a podcast between two brothers where we talk about gaming, tech, entertainment, and everything in between. This week we are going to be doing our review of Captain Marvel. We went to the 7 p.m. showing Thursday night, the night before they technically released. So like the very first showing that was available in the US pretty much.
Right.
Last week, we actually recorded another episode, which we'll be re-recording, but the audio messed up. So next episode, we'll be talking about our top 3 gaming consoles in order, from 3 being our least favorite of the group to 1 being our favorite of all time. And, going into this movie, I wasn't, it's an origin story, so you're expecting more of the backstory and the kind of build up. So I don't think the trailers do the movie justice. And we won't talk about why, because we're gonna do a non-spoilery what we thought, and then we'll get into the details of what we thought about it. But
yeah, I think there's obvious reasons why they couldn't market the movie for what it was.
Yeah,
But
because
it's just the type of the movie it is.
yeah. So I kind of compare this to, this is more along the line. It isn't like any of the other origin stories where the people start off weak and then they kind of start building up momentum. When you first meet, like I said, we won't get too spoilery right now, but when you first meet Carol Danvers, she already has her powers. Or Veers, yeah. She already has her powers and she's strong, and then she kind of gets knocked down a peg and then she builds her strength back up. It's kind of more along the lines of Black Panther.
Right.
Don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. I agree too. No, I went into this thinking, it'd probably be on the level of Ant-Man as far as a, origin story. I don't, obviously with it, they're not going to take a step back to Captain America or Thor's origin stories. Iron Man is probably the outlier in origin stories just because it's the first movie, and I think it was done really well. But I give that credit to Jon Favreau directing it.
Yes. And that's another thing. You could tell in this movie that the directors were not necessarily, I don't want to say experienced, but
no, there's 2 indie directors.
Yeah, it was 2 indie directors, so they had never dealt with a movie of this caliber, I guess you could say. So some of the
money going into it. Yeah,
so there was $150 million or something like that.
Yeah.
So some of the CG was kind of, don't get me wrong, the CG, it looked good. I think it's gonna look a lot better in Endgame because you have the Russo brothers directing it and their crew directing it. So, but for the most part, I thought the movie was pretty solid. If you are expecting like a Infinity War Endgame type thing, I don't know what to tell you. Like, not every movie's gonna be like that.
No, it's definitely more lighthearted after Endgame.
Yeah, so it was kind of a mix. It lined up really well with Black Panther, I feel like. I give it above that. I almost put it on the same level as like the Guardians movie. Like humor wise and stuff like that.
Just overall.
Yeah,
movie.
I wouldn't say it was as good as Guardians.
Either
one.
It's right there. I mean,
I think it's in between Black Panther and Guardians though, because Guardians are, in my opinion, some of the best Marvel movies.
Well, yeah, like Guardians and Spider-Man: Homecoming are at that
kind of tier 2.
They're at the bottom of the upper echelon.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They're some of the best movies, but they're at the bottom ranking of the best movies.
So I wasn't really paying attention to any of the ratings before going in, which I try and tell people to not pay attention to those, because reading if somebody else likes the movie shouldn't determine on if you're going to like it or not. The only way you're going to know if you're going to like it is if you go see it or you wait for it to come out. But
I look at the reviews just to get an idea. I don't look at why they score something. I just look at the overall score. So if it's an 8 out of 10, I want to say IGN gave it a 8.5 out of 10, which is decent.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
So overall, we enjoyed the movie very much. We're about to be getting into if you're looking for a not lighthearted, but kind of a lighter tone than what we've been experiencing in the Marvel universe, Cinematic Universe. This will be a good movie for you. Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson work really well together in the movie.
I think if Sam Jackson wasn't in it, the movie would be completely different.
I agree.
Like if it wasn't sort of like the buddy cop type thing where
because not during the movie, without saying too much, you don't only get Carol Danvers' backstory, you get some backstory of Nick Fury as well, which we've never really seen. You see a side of Nick Fury that has never been shown in a Marvel movie before, and we'll get into what that is later.
Well, yeah, they had to at some point do it because I think he's not under contract anymore for any more movies. He
Endgame is his last one, or is he even in Endgame? Do we know?
No, he might be. I mean, maybe. He is in the next Spider-Man movie.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yep.
So he may come back for the next Captain Marvel movie, but it's more present time, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So
no,
I think they did a good job filling in backstories. Hers was good. It was a different take than I was expecting, but
all right, so that was kind of our brief non-spoilery. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, we're going to be getting into the thick of it now. So pause it, come back and watch it later. Don't come back and watch it later. We're just letting you know we're going to be talking about the actual movie now.
Right.
So starting it off, she starts off waking up and you're kind of already like halfway through, not halfway through, but like you're already into her story. So she's already part of the Kree, I guess, army or...
She's on the Kree homeworld.
Yeah, she's Hala.
Whatever. She's human. You're not sure exactly how she got there. She doesn't know how she got there, and they explained that really quickly that she has
no memory. So she's part of what's the character Jude Law plays? I can't remember his name.
Grog.
Yeah. So she's part of like a kind of a military unit.
Star Force.
So yeah. So this movie kind of gives me kind of a Star Trek vibe almost, because you have like these teams of all different kinds of like alien races. You have Carol Danvers, who at the time they're calling her Vers. We'll get into why later. But so it's kind of like I don't know. I kind of get a Star Trek kind of feel because there's spaceship battles and all this kind of stuff.
See, I think that's why I compare it to Guardians, because it's the whole bigger universe type thing.
Which I think they're going to start doing more movies like that.
Well, yeah, I think they have a Nova movie. I mean, if they do Galactus, that's going to be a big one. The Internals and stuff like that. But I mean, obviously Guardians 3 whenever they do that. But I think they started off well. I mean, I knew going in Jude Law was the bad guy. Yeah,
we both knew that just from seeing like the casting and all this kind of stuff. So the pacing of the movie at the beginning, I don't want to say it was kind of slow, but
I thought it was fine.
Yeah. So they get to the planet, and this is where they get to the planet where they're going because there's a spy there, and the enemies at the time are called the Skrulls, and pretty much they can shapeshift into whoever. As long as they see them, they can shapeshift into them.
Yeah, with practice, and as long as they see them, they can shapeshift into them.
So they're going to rescue one of their spies, and this I could immediately tell that this was kind of I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to say inexperienced because the movie was good, but the lighting on this planet, I know it was kind of like supposed to be like dark and foggy, but the lighting
was bad
the lighting on the planet was absolutely terrible. You could not see people's faces, which again, I guess it might have just been how the planet was, but even, I don't know, like the lighting just looked really bad at this part. So you get there and it turns out the spy had already been like taken by the Skrull. He was probably dead, and it was a Skrull. It was a Skrull like impersonating him. So Carol Danvers gets captured, and she's all of a sudden she's getting all these memories, and there's kind of like a lucid dream, like kind of trippy scene where she's having all these memories. And you hear
we forgot to mention she went go meet with the
super intelligence.
Yeah, the super intelligence.
The supreme intelligence.
Supreme intelligence, yeah, that's right. And it identifies as someone, whenever you connect with the supreme intelligence, someone that you most connect with.
Yeah.
And she has no memory of the person who it is.
Yeah. So pretty much she's in this lucid state, she sees the person that the supreme intelligence takes the form as. So it's obviously somebody important to her. and potentially maybe even the last person she saw before she lost her memory.
I
So
mean, everybody's probably thinking, oh, it's her mom, yada,
yeah.
yada, yada. We don't really know. She wasn't in any of the trailers, so you couldn't tell anything like that.
So long story short, she breaks free. And at this point she can't go binary yet. She can only shoot stuff out of her hands. She
Right.
has like she's acrobatic, she has, I'm assuming, like she's really strong.
Well,
like
that's
superhuman
she
strength.
she got infused with Kree blood.
Yeah, from Jude Law's character.
Yes.
Which you find out later in the movie.
Yeah, going into the movie, I know she had Kree blood infused into her, but I was wondering how they were going to get her to get the power or whatever. So, I mean, she has the reflexes and the strength of a Kree due to the blood, but then she has the binary power due to the accident later that you come to find out. So, but my biggest hang up on this part right here in particular is when she's escaping and they're at Earth.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the entire time they were probing her brain, they were traveling towards Earth.
Probably, or maybe they were traveling and just when she broke free, they just happened to be on Earth. How they end up there, they don't really say.
That's why I'm saying that, they figured out that she was from Earth.
That she was human. Maybe they, I don't know.
They were trying to figure out more info on the person she sees.
So she escapes, lands on Earth. Some Skrulls follow her. Long story short, she meets Nick Fury and Agent Coulson. And Agent Coulson.
Did you think Coulson was going to have a big part in this movie, or you thought it was about what?
I thought it was more. I definitely knew it was going to be more about her and Nick Fury, not Coulson, because at the time Coulson's like he's just getting into Shield.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
Yeah, and Nick Fury isn't. I don't think he's the head of Shield yet, but he definitely has an established position. Which this was something that didn't make sense. When did they create the Shield name? At the end of Iron Man 1, which is after the events of Captain Marvel. So how was it already Shield when they didn't have a name and when they weren't named Shield in Iron Man 1?
Yeah.
So think about it. During Iron Man 1 they said the strategic homeland intervention blah 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 whatever.
Well, I mean, no, they had the name Shield, but it was probably just Coulson, being his character. I don't necessarily,
No, I know. It was just something I noticed how, like, if it was Shield then, why wasn't it Shield at the beginning of Captain America? I keep saying Captain America. Why wasn't it Shield at the beginning of Iron Man?
Yeah,
just kind of not necessarily lining up.
I think
that's me. That's me nitpicking, but
it is called Shield. I mean, that's the abbreviation of the strategic homeland.
I get that, but they didn't come up with that. In the universe, they didn't come up with that until the events of Iron Man 1.
But maybe because Nick Fury said it in this movie and Coulson said it in the other one, so it could just be Coulson, still trying to be professional and saying the actual full name outright.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just them
semantics. I mean, they're not going to play off the same joke twice, saying like, "Oh, that's long. Why not just call it Shield?"
Yeah, like I said, that's just me being nitpicky. I noticed that immediately when he said Shield, and I was like, that shouldn't be a thing yet. So that, like I said, that's just me nitpicking. So there's a chase scene, and long story short, they kill a Skrull, and Brie Larson like steals some dude's motorcycle and goes to
Terminator reference.
Yeah. So like goes to a bar like somewhere, like I don't know where it looks like California, Nevada, somewhere out there. So Nick Fury ends up like a Skrull was shapeshifting into Coulson, and so that Skrull ends up dying. They take it back and do like an autopsy on it, and it turns out Nick Fury's boss. So I guess this guy is the head of Shield, and that's when Nick Fury takes over. Potentially, who knows? It turns out he's a Skrull too, because you find out during the autopsy.
Well, I mean, you're assuming that the boss didn't die, maybe, or I don't know. I mean, it's not an important character. It's just Nick Fury's boss at the time.
So pretty much he like tracks her down because they had a matching description
on a motorcycle. So
so they end up meeting up at this bar, and she's like, what's Pegasus? Because she sees a picture at the bar. I guess Pegasus was on the picture somehow, or was like the logo.
It was the logo,
Hmm.
and she had saw that in her
In
memory
in her
whenever
memories.
when the scrolls were doing it. Now, hats off to the people that did the scrolls makeup and costume design.
That was very good. Yeah, the
It was
makeup
very
was.
nice, and the CGI of them changing from human to scroll and back and
Wow.
forth. I think that was a really good job.
Another thing that was very good was the de-aging visualizations they did on Samuel L. Jackson and I forget his name, the dude that
Greg
plays
Clark.
Yeah, Greg Clark. Samuel L. Jackson, you literally could not tell that it was CGI for the most part. Like he looked young, but
They've gotten better as they've done this in more and more movies.
yeah, because I mean they did it in Rogue One, right? With what's his name? The general. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up. But anyway,
they also did it with Leia. They did it with
yeah.
they
So,
did it.
so
General Tarkin.
General Tarkin. That's it.
Yeah.
So
But the first time we saw it was in Tron with what's his face?
with God, we were just blanking tonight. I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about though. So pretty much at this point, they're kind of working together, but Nick Fury's still like, he's still treating her as a suspect. You know, like, I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna kind of go along with it to see what's going on because I
He's trying to find the backstory.
Yeah, because I just saw an alien, so it's like I know you're not making up everything. So they end up finding out that the person they were after was some kind of Air Force scientist or something like that.
Yeah, scientist.
Yeah, and it turns out she was actually a Kree, and she needed to get to her lab wherever that was, and Carol Danvers offered to fly her. So now, like, there's a picture, and Carol Danvers is in the background. You see her climbing into the plane, which is actually an Easter egg. There's actually an Easter egg on the plane that has to do with the end of the movie, which I thought was really good. We'll get to that later. But long story short, you find out that she's a scientist, and the Skrulls are not really the bad guys. We're skipping a lot here because I don't want this to be
we're just
super long. There's a lot of
gonna...
downtime here after the Shield agents show up. They're like, all right, we're gonna, like, Nick Fury is at this point considered like he's betrayed Shield. Yeah. So they're like, you can take him alive, take him dead, whatever.
Coulson goes with his gut and trusts Nick Fury to see what he's doing.
Yeah, and like lets them go. So they escape on like some advanced kind of like, I guess, model prototype of a Quinjet, maybe.
Yeah, it's the prototype of the Quinjet.
Yeah. So they escape with that, and it turns out that the Kree, like I said, we're skipping a lot, and a Skrull actually shows up. She finds her childhood, not her childhood, but pretty much her best friend from the Air Force,
right?
Who, funnily enough, lives in Louisiana, which is where we live. So
which was filmed and shot in Louisiana.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool to see that. But somehow the Skrulls find her, show her proof that they're not actually the bad guys.
Well, they had the black box from the crash of the ship.
Yeah. So it was pretty funny because, this is filmed it takes place during the 90s. It wasn't filmed in the 90s, obviously. But so like they have a CD, and they put the CD in like a very old computer that's running like Windows 95 or something.
Probably.
And it, like, nowadays when you put the CD in, it automatically comes up if you even do a CD anymore, which a lot of people don't. But so they put the CD in, and you see a loading bar pop up, and there's like a funny moment where they're all just kind of looking around.
It just flashes to everybody's screen.
Yeah, and Carol Danvers is like, "What's happening?" And Nick Fury's like, "It's loading." So then they see that, and it turns out that, like I said, the Kree were technically the bad guys all along, and that the people that found Carol Danvers after she crashed with the woman who we find out her name was Marvel, the people that actually shot them down and found Carol Danvers was Jude Law's character.
Right.
And how Carol Danvers got her power was the Marvel was carrying like a light speed reactor kind of thing.
Yeah, it was the ship's engine that was powering it. Now, it wasn't the source, it was just like the engine developing it.
Yeah.
She ended up shooting it, and her body absorbed all the energy, which gives her power. Then Jude Law realizes that as he was about to kill her, he realizes, oh wait, no, she absorbed the energy, so gonna try to use her as a weapon. So they took her, and then that's where that started. But we're gonna get to it. But did you know what the source was?
Oh, on the ship?
Yeah. Did you have any idea that's what it would be?
That wasn't on the ship that got shot down, though. That wasn't our
No,
lab.
no. I'm saying, yeah, just speaking a little bit ahead. Okay, it's the Tesseract.
Yeah. I had a feeling it was going to be it.
Once I saw how much blue was on the engine, I was like, they're talking about warp speed, traveling.
That is true. That's true. Yeah.
As soon as I saw the color, I was like, it's a Tesseract. It's got to be,
because that's what
good. At that point, Tony's dad had retrieved the Tesseract, so it was already in government's hands, and then I knew they were testing on it, so it only made sense to give it to a scientist who happened to be her.
So the Tesseract was on her lab, which was like pretty much a giant hidden ship in Earth's atmosphere, kind of. I mean, it was in space. It was orbiting Earth, pretty much. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, that's how she got her powers. And then Jude Law's character like finds a scroll and is like, the scroll tells her she knows everything.
Blah, blah, she ends up working with the scrolls because supposedly it's something more. Like they're trying to work. They want to find a new home. Yeah,
like pretty much the Kree was trying to force them to like follow their ways and stuff like that. And the scrolls said, to kill them. Yeah, the scrolls said no, like, we just want to do our own thing. And the Kree were like, all right, well, we're gonna kill you now. And there's actually a throwback to Ronan from the first Guardians of the Galaxy. He's actually a part of the Kree. Yeah. Yep. And his kind of force is called the Accusers.
Yeah. And he's the one of the Kree extremists. So, like, you don't follow us, we're going to kill you.
Yeah. So, okay. One part I didn't really get was, like, at the end of the movie, pretty much Ronan appears at Earth and is, like, launching, like, missiles right at Earth.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I was expecting these missiles to be, like, a lot more beefy than they actually were.
Well, it looked like they were pretty beefy. It's just, she caused a chain reaction. And
but I'm saying, like, I thought these were going to be like destroy the Earth kind of thing,
like nuke bigs. Or
I guess they were just trying to do it in that centralized kind of concentrated area, maybe.
Yeah, I mean where they were at is what they were trying to do. So I think that was okay. I mean, obviously they would have more technology, but I guess for the amount that they dropped, they weren't as strong. I don't know.
Yeah. So pretty much she takes the scroll that was impersonating Nick Fury's boss is kind of the main scroll. Yeah, I guess kind of their leader. So they take the Quinjet to Mar-Vell's lab, and you see like it was his family and like a bunch of others. Pretty much like a small refugee group of Skrull just on the lab surviving there. And that's when you see the Tesseract. And people don't at that point, you don't know what it is. You don't know that the Mind Stone is not the Mind Stone. The Space Stone is just chilling inside.
We know.
No, we know, but the people like
Space Stone, not Mind Stone.
That's what I said. Oh, I corrected myself. But like the characters don't know that that's an Infinity Stone being held in there. So they get captured, and I guess they have like a kind of on the go Supreme Intelligence kind of thing. So the whole movie, Brie Larson has like this implant in her neck.
I mean, I knew from the beginning.
Yeah. So like
right away, I was like, that's restricting her powers.
So pretty much she's been being held back this whole time, and she's still stronger than every other person in the Kree army at this point.
Oh yeah.
While she's being held back. So at first I had a problem with this, but then
what do you mean?
Well, after long story short, she has like all the past where it's like, and I didn't really mind this part. The only part that I had a problem with is like, it's called the cockpit for a reason. Like, to me, that didn't need to be in there. Like, like when she broke away from the Supreme Intelligence and like overpowered it, and it was all her memories of like, her and the Air Force, and she like couldn't keep up with the guys or whatever. and then it was her racing the go-karts, and they were saying like, don't
Oh,
go
it
that
was just
fast.
saying like, she's a human. She's not a
Mhm.
Kree, so she's a human. So most humans,
Well,
normally once
no,
they
but
get knocked on their butt, they get up again.
it
I
was also
understand why they did it.
no, it was also kind of like men talking down to women kind of thing, which
I don't play any into that nonsense. That's stupid.
yeah. So
That's stupid. It's a
like
movie.
I said, the only thing was like the only thing I thought was kind of cheesy and didn't really. It's called the cockpit for a reason. It's like, dude, like that didn't need to be in the movie. That's literally one of the few problems I had with the movie.
Yeah, it didn't
As
need
far
to
as
be in
that
there.
goes, yeah. So she overpowers the supreme intelligence, and like the kind of the thing on her neck breaks, and this is when you first see her go like binary, and she goes Super Saiyan. And at this point, she's like, literally nobody in the movie has a chance to stop her. Which
No, she's on Thanos, Thor, Hulk.
yeah, she's probably stronger than the Hulk at this point. She's like
Yeah.
she's Thor level right now.
Yeah,
Thor with
Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker, and
Yeah.
Thanos with like the Infinity Gauntlet. So she's like extremely strong. Which, like I said, I had a problem with this at first because it's like, but then I was like, okay, it's an origin story.
Wait, that she wasn't that strong from the beginning, or
No, I had a problem with like once she broke free from that, there literally wasn't a fight. Like she took everybody down like it was nothing.
Oh yeah, but at least they played it up like she was letting blast go so much that she was like throwing herself back, but she didn't know how to control the power.
Yeah.
So at the end point, so like would come to where she is now, having been able to use her full strength for a longer time, she's probably stronger now than she was at the end of that movie.
Yeah, and at this point, she's already like she's already like the third or second strongest person we've seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, she could body all the Avengers besides like Thor, like combined. Like
just because Thor's a god.
Yeah, like she could literally take on the entire Avengers without Thor at the same time and win. That's how strong she is. At this point.
I wonder if they're going to play into the fact that she can absorb energy blasts too and like redirect them.
I think they probably.
That.
I think they probably will. Like I said, this was an origin story, so introducing the character, getting ready for her, I guess her first major role in Endgame as far as the cinematic universe goes, and then going past Endgame because she's going to be one of the major faces of Phase.
Well,
4?
she's probably going to take up the helm. Like she will be the next Captain America.
She'll be like the next leader in Phase. I guess 4. This will be Phase 4, right?
Yeah, Phase 4.
So the phase like after Endgame and stuff like that. So, pretty much, long story short, she just bodies everyone, just completely destroys them.
Pretty much gives Ronan the finger and he runs away.
Yeah, he's like, we'll be back for the weapon, and they're like the core, and he's like the woman, and she's just like floating in space.
Well, did they say Infinity Stone? Right there. The Tesseract. They said Tesseract, or did they say Infinity Stone? Because he knows it's an Infinity Stone.
I think he said we'll be back for the weapon.
Okay.
Or some. I don't think he said Infinity Stone though.
Yeah.
But so Ronan pretty much just takes off. And what's funny is actually one of Ronan's, I guess like Ronan's secondhand man, the dude that gets killed by Drax. I can't remember his name.
Desmond something or the other. Yeah.
Yeah. He's actually part of Brie Larson's like original crew, so I guess he joins up with Ronan.
Well, there's that a part where he's like, don't call Ronan, and Jude Law's talking to him, and I'm like, okay, well, is he going to call Ronan anyway?
Yeah.
Is that how he's going to show back up? But I think it was good that they got Ronan to come back in there.
It wasn't the same actor though.
No, it wasn't.
It was the voice when they did like the hologram thing when they were talking to him. That was the same voice as the guy who played it in Guardians.
Yeah.
But then the actual actor was different because you see the actor and he looks completely different, which
I wonder if they de-aged him. Well, I think it might. Let me see.
I don't think it was the same guy. Like I said, in the hologram thing, it sounded the same.
No, it's the same guy.
It is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same guy.
He looks completely different.
Well, they de-aged him. I mean, they did his makeup differently because he looks a lot older in the Guardians movies. No, I think they did it right because they left the Kree that they're gonna have. Maybe like they're gonna be. That's maybe
they'll have another storyline
movie.
Yeah.
like her going trying to finish off the Kree or whatever.
Like where she goes after she leaves Earth at the end of the movie.
Well,
So
there she's going with the scrolls.
she's
to
going with the
find a
scrolls.
planet.
So that that might be where
I
they
don't
pick up
I
the
don't know
second
if
one.
she's gonna like if she had already found a homeworld for the scrolls and then would go fight the Kree. I think they would rather leave that open to another movie, maybe the second Captain Marvel or the third, or maybe her team up with in Guardians 3 or something like that.
So the movie ends with Nick Fury. This is like the movie where he loses his eye, which I also didn't like. I get they wanted to add it.
They gave a reason for it. That's all it was.
Yeah, so there was a cat.
Funny. There
was a cat that Marvel had, but it turns out this cat was like an alien, and nobody knew except the Skrulls. And it pretty much like shot tentacles out of its mouth, swallowed the Tesseract, swallowed some like Kree people, and then when they were leaving, it like scratched Nick Fury's eye, and that's how his eye gets messed up. Which,
like, it was what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, but like in Winter Soldier, he's like, last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye.
Yeah, he trusts the cat.
Well, yeah, but then he's still like tight with the cat at the end of the movie because the cat like barfs out the Tesseract. I guess
that's why he's tight with him because he knows the Tesseract's in there. He's like,
so Coulson walks up with like a box of fake eyes or whatever. It's like you have an important decision to make or whatever, and you see on his computer he's typing up the Protectors Initiative.
Yep.
So he's trying to form the Avengers at this point. So he opens up a file or whatever, and he sees the picture of Carol Danvers climbing into her plane. And it's Carol Avenger Danvers, and he changes Protector to Avengers.
Avengers, yes.
Yeah. And that's how the Avengers got their name, which I thought was pretty cool. And like the Avengers theme played at the end, and then the movie ends.
Oh yeah, great.
So
and then the mid credit scene I knew the second credit scene was going to be nothing. It's normally mid credit pertains to the next movie,
and the second one's kind of just a gimmick,
a humor funny, or something pertaining just to that movie in general. So the second one, we see the pager that Captain Marvel, souped up and gave to Nick Fury at the end of the movie, and she said, "Whenever you need me, page me, but only in
an emergency." Yeah.
So I guess that's why that he didn't do it for New York or Ultron.
He was probably only going to do it if he knew he probably was only going to do it if he knew he was going to like die or like he wouldn't be there to press it again.
Yeah, I think I think that New York he didn't do it for because if the city would have been nuked, if the Chitauri would have survived the incoming nuke,
he probably would have done it then, yeah. But, and that's another thing, like they didn't want to introduce her too soon into the universe, because we'll talk about something. Captain Marvel they were thinking about introducing her a lot sooner than they actually did.
Yeah, before Avengers 1. I mean, Infinity War.
Yeah, they were thinking of introducing her at the end of Age of Ultron, which I'm glad they didn't, because she needed her own movie. Yeah, she needed her own movie before, and plus we'll get into that later. So yeah, that's the first one. So they found the pager, and it's still I guess it's still paging her. And
it was still going on. They hooked it up to a power source so it wouldn't lose battery.
So it's Captain America, Black Widow, and Bruce Banner. And and Rhodey. So it shuts off, and they're like, Bruce, can you get its power on? He's like, I don't know if we should. We don't know what it is. And they're like, well, if Fury had it, it can't be bad.
Yeah.
Power back on, and then they turn around, and it's Brie Larson. Carol Danvers is there. It's like, where's Fury? And then it ends.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's probably somewhat of a close scene to what actually happens in the movie.
Probably,
because that's what they did at the end of Ant-Man for Civil War. That was when it was Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson, and they had Bucky.
Yeah, it's probably part of the movie because it first starts open with Steve looking at the death count.
Yeah,
where it's counting all the people that died from the snap, and each different there's a couple countries and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think Norway was one of them, and it was just rising counting. So that's probably part of the movie.
I would think it might not be an exact scene, but it's probably one of the alternate parts of a scene that they.
So she's going to get there early in the movie.
Yeah.
So we can assume that from the trailer that we saw for Endgame that there's a lot of empty spaces, and she could be one of the people that is in that spot.
Because, dude, I'm excited for Endgame. I
Oh,
keep
yeah.
forgetting that it's 3 hours long, like at least 3 hours long.
It's a month away,
Yeah,
or a little over a
a
month.
little over a month. So something that we were kind of talking about earlier, and how they were thinking of introducing her sooner, and I'm really glad that they didn't.
No.
They were thinking of introducing her as part of like, I guess the phase 2 Avengers, where it was like it was Vision, Scarlet Witch, Sam Wilson, Captain
They did right.
America. Because if you think about it, if they would have introduced her there, she more than likely would have had to be in Civil War. And yes, she was in a Civil War in the comics, but if she would have been in Civil War in these, she would have bodied whatever team she was on. They could have
did the same thing that they did with Hulk
Thor
and Thor.
Hulk. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. They would have knocked out everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, Captain Marvel would have, even if Thor and Hulk would have been on another team, like they maybe would have. Because I mean, Iron Man fought Thor and held his own, in Avengers 1, kind of. Yeah. It wouldn't have lasted long, but
no, it wouldn't have. It could have been the same way, like in Civil War. Imagine if Spider-Man was on Captain America's side. I mean, would it have really been that of a challenge?
No, because the only person that probably could have stood a chance against Spider-Man was Black Panther. Yeah, and even then, Spider-Man's stronger than Black Panther
or Vision.
Yeah, that's true, Vision. So that's kind of why they split up Vision and Scarlet Witch, because you have like these two people that are, kind of matched, and then you have you have Winter Soldier and Black Panther, which I've said this before and I'll say it again. Bucky in Infinity War was like a major letdown.
Oh yeah, it was.
Like they're setting him up to be the next Captain America, potentially.
Well, he's gonna still be in
They're either setting him up for that or for him to be the White Wolf in Wakanda.
Well, they have the spinoff series with him and Falcon coming to Netflix. So I don't know if he's going to be Captain America. Yeah,
regardless, he was a major letdown. He literally shot a gun and
that one scene with Rocket, that was it. Yeah,
he was a badass in Winter Soldier and Civil War, and then doesn't do anything in Infinity War. But they paired up. They did the pairings really well in Civil War. And if they throw in somebody like Captain Marvel, Thor, Hulk,
it wouldn't have been fair.
No, whichever team they weren't on would have gotten bodied.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you would have had to have Thor on one side and Captain Marvel on the other side.
Which even then, Thor was at that point, he would have put up a good fight against her, but she could have been
she would have won.
Thor doesn't get super strong until Ragnarok when he can have the lightning.
He gets really strong then, but then
he gets
even Stormbreaker.
Yeah, he gets on another level. So, I'm not a huge fan of ratings, but comparing it to other Marvel movies, like we said,
yeah, I'll rate it on the scale. I'm not going to give it a number rating. Yeah. I'll say it's better as far as origin stories goes. Mm-hmm. It's probably the second to Iron Man. I'd say it's better than Thor. It's better than Captain America.
Yeah,
it's better than Doctor Strange. It's better than Ant-Man.
I'd say it's as good as Doctor Strange. I really liked Doctor Strange.
See, I liked Ant-Man better. I think it's just above Ant-Man. So now it plays into the whole time period piece, the 90s and everything. It plays up on the music, which was good.
Yeah, I like the music selection. It almost does as good of a job as the Guardians movies does with the soundtrack. But yeah, comparing it to other movies, it's, as far as the newer origin stories goes, it's probably a little better than them. I enjoyed it a little more than Black Panther.
I enjoyed it a lot more than Black Panther.
Yeah. Because we already knew T'Challa a good bit, so we were just kind of getting where, I don't know. Civil War was weird. It's kind of it was a lot about Black Panther too. So Black Panther, the first Black Panther movie kind of felt like the second.
Yeah.
In a way. But overall, I thought it was good. Like I said, don't let the reviews swayed you one way or the other. Shit, go
watch it. It's, if you like any of the other Marvel movies, go see it. Simple as that.
Yeah, it was a good Marvel movie. The only movies that are insanely good that aren't the Avengers, one of the Avengers lines, like we said, are Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Thor Guardians movies and Thor Ragnarok. Those are that's why I have kind of 4 tiers of like bad Marvel movies. Good
How
good
many are in your
ones.
How many are in the bad tier? I got 2.
I got the second Thor movie.
Second Thor movie and Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, those are the
Even the
only
first
two.
Thor movie is
Even the
decent.
yeah, it's just decent. But that was a lot of story, and
Yeah, you have
they're
to do a big origin story for him.
they're getting the formula more and more right as far as these origin stories go.
Mhm.
Like besides Iron Man 1, they're just getting the origin story. So like the first story where you get them like a lot of the background of the character, they're slowly getting better and better. Like I said, besides Iron Man, because the first Iron Man movie is just great.
So good. So good.
That's one of those movies too where it's just like above all the other non-Avengers movies.
This is definitely on the class of like you can rewatch this movie and enjoy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And we could probably watch it again and like notice some stuff we didn't notice before, all that kind of stuff. But overall, it was a solid movie. I definitely recommend going see it in theaters.
Definitely.
And it's set up pretty much perfectly for Endgame, which was also good. I was wondering how they were. I knew one of the mid-credit scenes was going to be Endgame.
Oh, I had a feeling that it was going to be exactly what it was.
It was going to be her showing up.
Yeah, she was going to show up and you're going to see the pager. Exactly what you said. The whole the Winter Soldier Civil War or the Captain America where where his arms caught in the pins.
Yeah,
for Winter Soldier.
Where it's like more than likely one variety. It's like a scene or one of a close like varieties of that scene that they did.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, definitely go see the movie. Like I said, we went to see the first premiere of it. We're gonna go see Endgame at the premiere, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do the same thing for Endgame.
Yeah, so we'll go see the movie. For that, we'll probably be so jacked up after watching it. We'll do a recording that night. Maybe.
I'll probably go see it that first day, and then I'll probably go back again and see it on the Saturday. To be honest, go see it twice.
Yeah, me too. So we might wait until we see it a second time to do a review.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely be doing one, so that'll be in a month. We finally had a solid Game of Thrones trailer, so we'll probably record an episode on that tomorrow, and we'll have it where it has the title right below me, and to the left of Jonathan, we'll probably have like the trailer playing, and then we'll like break it down and kind of go over.
Just have the trailer on loop.
Yeah, it's Game of Thrones, so they're not going to show us a lot in the trailers as far as like what's going to happen and like, but you can pick out details and kind of figure out what's going on and maybe potentially what's happening and what will happen. So that'll be next episode, and then I guess we'll do our top 3 consoles for episode 13.
Yeah, that works.
Like I said, the audio had gotten messed up on that. It was weird. I don't know. My PC messed up, so that'll be next week probably. So, do you have anything you want to say before we wrap up? I mean, I know keep gaming. But I feel like we skipped a lot of the middle part, but that's kind of like, she gets to her friend's house and there's some downtime.
We're not gonna do a plot review. I mean, the pacing was good. It's an origin story, so the pacing's gonna be a little bit slower. There's no big battle scene because she's overpowered by the end of it. But no, go see it.
Yeah, the big point of the movie was when she broke that thing off and goes binary and kicks everybody in the face and like just completely bodies everyone, which it was a pretty cool moment. And like I said, the CG was it wasn't all there, I feel like, but in Endgame, I feel like it's going to be really good. I mean, it has to be really good, but I feel like it's gonna, I don't want to say, she'll be on a different level as far as like strength goes. So I'm looking forward to that. So guys, we really appreciate y'all watching. This will be posted, what's today, Friday? This will be posted tomorrow on Saturday.
Yep.
So like I said, we did non-spoiler at the beginning, kind of a short little brief segment, and then we got into the real meat. So we appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.